Hello everyone. I am Avelyn Espino from Section ZO3. Today, I will be sharing my final synthesis for my course, Literatures of the World, also known as GELITWO. This video blog is my reflection on everything I have learned throughout this term, including my key takeaways from different modules, class activities, and class discussions that we have done throughout the term, and how this course has shaped me, not just as a student but also as an individual. To be honest, at the start of this course, I didn't really know what to expect. I thought it would simply involve um reading stories, analyzing them, and then writing essays and answering questions, blah blah blah. But as the course progressed, I realized that it was so much more than that. So this course, the GLIT2 showed me the power of literature, like literally, not just as an entertainment or academic study, but also a way of understanding the world and connecting with others and even understanding myself better. Meaning that literature can be a mirror to society, a way to express emotions, and a tool to make sense of what's happening in the world around us. The stories we read challenge me to think critically, question societal norms, and consider different viewpoints. They even help me better they even help me better understand how people interact with each other and the world. This course really changed of how I see literature, and it's no longer just academic or static to me. Like it's really a dynamic and a really meaningful subject. This journey has been such an incredible experience filled with engaging discussions, eye opening readings, and interactive activities that have made learning both fun and meaningful. And through this course, I have gained so much knowledge, not just from the lecture, but also from all the hands on tasks, group activities, and sandbox exercises that allowed me to put everything we learned practical. These activities made the lessons come alive and help me understand the concepts more clearly and gave me opportunity to connect with my classmates kasi need the groupings. So, without further ado, let's dive into my key takeaways. So, starting off with my key takeaways from each module. For module 1, one of my one of the biggest takes away from this module is how literature can be both deeply rooted in local culture and yet have a global impact at the same time. Stories are written within a specific historical and cultural context, but their themes and messages can resonate with readers from different backgrounds. A great example of this is The Lottery by Shirley Jackson, and at first, it seemed like a simple depiction of a strange tradition in a small town. However, as I delved deeper into its themes, I realized it was about much more than that. The story highlights how people often follow traditions blindly without questioning their purpose or consequences, which can lead to harmful outcomes. And this made me reflect on our own cultural beliefs and practices. Like, nagpapatanong ako, gaano na ba karami yung culture or practices na patuloy pa rin natin ginagawa. Kasi wala, it's always been that way. So, we just follow it. So, it was an eye-opening to see how specific, localized story could reflect a universal human tendency and prompting me to think critically about the traditions we uphold and whether they truly serve a meaningful purpose. Another reading that left a lasting impression on me was the World Literature National Context by David Ross. Medyo mahaba to. Pero maganda naman siya basahin. And this reading challenged me to think about how literature is not just defined by where it comes, but also by how it is received by different audiences. This book written in one country might carry a completely different meaning for a reader in another, depending on their cultural background and experiences. And this really highlight the idea that literature is a conversation, one that transcends borders and brings people from different cultures together. It also made me reflect on how literature moves beyond its original setting and takes on new meanings depending on who is reading it. A story written in one culture may be interpreted differently by readers from another, showing how literature is not static but continuously reshaped by those who engage with it. And similarly, the reading Vision Out of the Corner of One Eye by Luisa Valenzuela, which deepened my understanding of how storytelling is influenced by perspective too. The way a story is told and whose voice is heard can significantly change how we understand its message. And this made me realize how important it is to consider multiple perspectives, not only in literature but also in real life. Just as literature is shaped by the lens through which it is read, our understanding of the world is shaped also by the perspective we choose to acknowledge. And these readings reinforce the idea that stories are not just fixed narratives, but also evolving dialogues that challenge, reshape, and connect people across cultures and experiences. Moving on to the module 2, which is the colonial past and post-colonial present. This module was a deep dive into the lasting effects of colonialism and how it continues to shape societies until today. It, it, it helped me to understand that colonialism is not just a historical event, but something that still affects identities, cultures, and power dynamic in the modern world. One story that really stood out to me was Just Ladder, That's All, by Hernando Teles, which is the barber's internal conflict about whether to kill the captain was so intense, and it symbolized the broader struggle between resistance and oppression. And it made me think about the more dilemmas people face when trying to stand up against injustice. And the next reading is The Taximan Story by Catherine Lim, which portrayed the generational divide in a post-colonial society. The story showed how younger generation embrace modernization and new ways of thinking, while older generations try to hold onto traditional values. This made me reflect on my own experiences and how cultural shifts can create both opportunities and tensions within family and communities. And lastly, the reading An Enigmatic Nature by Anton Chekhov made me think that about how societal roles shaped by colonial history still influence people today. The story's exploration of societal expectation and individual aspiration was so relatable, and it really made me question how much of our behavior is influenced by history. Moving on for the module 3, Body, Mind, and Desire was probably the most personal and thought-provoking module for me because it focused on the themes of identity, autonomy, and the way society influences our choices. And one of the most impactful reading was the Vagina Monologues by Eve Ensler. This piece was so bold and powerful in addressing topics that are often considered taboo. It showed the importance of reclaiming one's narrative and breaking free from societal shame. It, it was inspiring to see how storytelling can be used as a form of oh shit, activism, and it made me think about the power of literature to challenge norms and inspire change. For this module, we also have Hills Like White Elephants by Ernest Hemingway, which was a masterclass in subtle storytelling. The unsaid words between the characters spoke volumes, and it made me reflect on how much of our communications happen beneath the surface. The story's themes of body autonomy and difficult decisions were deeply moving, and it made me think about how personal struggles are often influenced by societal expectations. And lastly, Dear Evan Hansen was a heartbreaking yet relatable story about mental health, loneliness, and identity. It reminded me of the importance of talking about mental health and supporting one another. And in literature, whether in the form of books, plays, or movies, it can be a powerful way to address real world issues and create empathy. Um, the sandbox module that we had for this um, was the hero's journey. And we were tasked to make our own version of hero's journey based on what we learned from the Black Mirror episode those time. And at first, I wasn't sure if my ideas were good enough, and I felt nervous sharing them. But my group mates were so supportive, and together we come up with a creative and meaningful story. The activity not only helped me understand the hero's journey, but better, but also boosted my confidence and made me appreciate the value of teamwork. Outside of the modules, the class lectures and activities added so much to my learning experience. One major takeaway was from our discussions on the elements of literary experience. This made me realize that literature is not just about understanding the plot. It's about it's about experiencing the emotions, conflicts, and themes that come with it. Every story invites us into a whole new world, and it's up to us to explore and engage with it. We also explored the elements of fiction, which deepened my appreciation for storytelling. Um, Learning about plot, character, and conflict made me more analytical and observant as a reader. And an example of this was the reading of Rashomon by Yunosuke Akutagawa. By this reading, I realized how perspective shapes truth and how narrative techniques influence interpretation. And finally, the hero's journey was one of the most fascinating topics we covered. It opened my eye to the universal structure of storytelling, which can be found not only in literature but also in movies, TV shows, and even real life experiences. And watching those type from Black Mirror and analyzing the protagonist's journey made me reflect on my own life, on how I face challenges, how I grow, and how my personal journey is unfold. One thing I really appreciate about this course was how the sandbox activities added an extra layer to our learning. An instance, an example of this would, um, if my answer, I mean, like, when I wasn't sure about my answers in some of the activities, if they were correct, um, but ayun, with the help of my group mates, I feel confident naman to share, and they also help me grasp the lessons better and apply them in a practical way. And these sandbox activities is not just about getting points. I mean, though the bank points were definitely a great opportunity to, like, to have a better grades. But these bank points, it is like a way to reflect on our understanding of the topics, because if this bank point is low, it means like we scored low on the activities, and it was like a sign that we needed to study more, which was actually helpful for improving. And on top of that, these activities also encourage us to work together, communicate, and share ideas. So, how GELITWO impacted me beyond academics is that it truly changed the way I see the world. It has sharpened my critical thinking skills and made me more culturally aware and helped me appreciate the diversity of human experiences. The themes identity, oppression, and resilience are the things I now notice everywhere, like in the news, in society, social issues, and even in daily conversations. And more than anything, literature has taught me empathy. Reading stories from different perspectives has made me more understanding of people's struggles and experiences. It has shown me the power of storytelling to create awareness and inspire change. I know that even after college, the lessons I have learned in GELITWO will continue to shape my thoughts and decisions, both in my personal life and as a member of us and as a member of society. Reflecting on my experience in GELITWO, I can honestly say that this course was more than just reading and analyzing stories. It was about connecting literature to real life and understanding different perspectives and learning how stories shape our world. I appreciate how our professor incorporated a variety of reading and visual materials, making the lessons more engaging and thought provoking. So, in conclusion, Chile 2 has been an eye-opening and transformative journey from exploring national identities to understanding personal struggles. And this course has deepened my appreciation for literature and its role in shaping society. And literature is more than just words, it's a reflection of human experiences, a form of persistence, and a tool for change. I am truly grateful for everything I have learned from this course, and I hope to carry these lessons with me as I continue my journey. So, thank you for listening to my synthesis, and I hope my reflections resonate with you in some ways because literature is so powerful, and I know it will continue to influence me long after my academic journey ends. Thank you.